What is going on, you guys? My name is Seapeekay, one of the hosts of all things MCC, and today I'm back with the video where I go through all the teams that have been announced and my predictions, but this time it's a little bit different. So I was actually away in San Diego and Las Vegas for the last 12, 13 days. So I had no time to make this video. Usually this video comes out the second the last team is announced by MCC officially, because I get to see the teams a little bit early. So I use that to my advantage and I make the video early. However, obviously this time it's a little bit different. So chances are, since they've been announced 2 or 3 days ago at this point, you've probably already seen the teams. So I'm going to focus less on the teams being announced in this video. I'm still going to show you in case you haven't seen. And I'm going to focus more a little bit on the actual stats, some of the new stuff we've got, and then my predictions. So without further ado, please subscribe. We're so close to 100k now. I know I keep going on about it, but if we hit 100k, I'll shut up. So is that an incentive? Maybe. But please subscribe. We are pumping out content and we're super excited for the future. Coming up first, it's red. Okay, and this time, as you can see, we don't really need to do anything in terms of hiding other teams, etc. because you already know them. So we got Tommy in it, Captain Sparkles, Finster, Jack Manifold. Super good team. I think I saw Finn say that he ordered some sunglasses or something like that. So I think he's cosplaying Tommy in it for this event. Depends if he wears acrylic nails as to how well Finn is going to do. Tommy and Captain Sparkles, I think I've been told that whenever Tommy and Sparkles have teamed together, Sparkles has won. Is that right? I think it is right, but I think they've only teamed once. So technically correct, yes. But overall, good all-round team. Think it's going to be a really strong one. Again, the teams are super balanced. Scott's been absolutely smashing it recently, so it makes it so hard to do these predictions, but I did do well in my last predictions, even though everyone trash talks my predictions all the time. My last ones were good. Next up, we have Tapple, Bad Boy Halo, Skeppy, and Spifey. Gonna be a very fun team to watch for sure. Not sure off the bat if this team can win. I think it's going to be very dependent on Tapple absolutely popping off, especially as Skeppy doesn't really play in many events, nor does Spifey really. In fact, to be fair, nor does Bad. Really, I'm pretty sure off the top of my head. So it's only Tapple who's really been in them consistently. So gonna be a fun team to watch. But just from the vibes from the get-go, I don't think it's a winning team. Next up, we have Yellow, made up of Sapnap, 5UP, G Nelly, and Michael McChill. Now, I do think what we are seeing here is an incredibly strong potential duo of Sapnap and 5UP. Sapnap and 5UP both super competitive as well. So definitely gonna be really pushing to win. With the correct guidance, I do think that G and Michael can pull their weight in this event, and I think that if Sapnap is leading, it's obviously going to be the Sapnap show in terms of make sure Sapnap's getting all the kills in battle bots, because Sapnap will do some crazy flank, making sure that he's fully geared if we're in survival games, etc. And that's because Sapnap can literally pop off all the time, so it makes sense. Looking forward to seeing what they're doing. Definitely a contender for high placement. Next up, Lime, Pizza Hut, Cub Fan, Solidarity Gaming in the Littlewood. You know what? One of my favorite teams in the event. I love seeing Jimmy and the Littlewood teamed up together. It's always great to see them get strong teammates as well. This time we see them paired up with Pete. Cub Fan coming in as well. I think it's an all-round decent team. I do think it's going to be dependent on games. I think if we can steer away from PvP games, this team can do incredibly well. They're very good at movement stuff. They're going to be good at team-based stuff. And I can guarantee you it's probably going to be the best vibes in the event. In terms of chill. So definitely one to watch, and probably a PG team too, entirely PG. So worth checking out if you're looking for that kind of POV. Next up is Green, no bias, literally my favorite team. It's Grian, me, Smallish Beans, and Wilbur Soot. We are rocking with the Socket Trio this time. I've decided to throw myself into the mix. Me and Joel coming off the back of a win in MCC 25. Actually one of my worst events as of late, and I finished 13th. So I'm going to be doing a whole bunch of VOD reviewing for this event to make sure that I am fully prepped for what is going on. I think we can win it. I really do. I think we are at least a top 4 team. I think probably top 3. And I like to think that if we all have a good event, we really can push to get a W. So time will tell, but I'm excited. We got Cyan, made up of Kara, Kratzy, Ryguy Rocky, and Krinios. So almost the Crimson Krakens. But this time with a substitute of Ryguy Rocky. Ryguy not in too many events. He has been featuring in more recently. We've got him in MCC 19, 20, 22, 24, 26. So he's playing in basically every other event at this point since MCC 20. Overall, decent player for Ryguy Rocky. He sort of average placement is 17th. He finishes quite well. I think it'll be a good mix in this with Kratzy, Kara, and Krinios. I do think that this is going to depend on Kratzy doing super well. Krinios definitely has really good placements too, but has been a little inconsistent. So time will tell, but Always a fun vibe with these guys, and I'm sure Reggae Rocky is not going to be a detriment to those vibes. Next up, we have Aqua made up of H-Bomb, Sylvie, Smager, and Aimsy. Now, I absolutely think that, just from the top of my head, that this team can go on to win the event. Scott has actually had 2 of his worst events ever for the last 2 MCCs, coming 32nd and 37th individually. But I think those are kind of outliers. Scott usually finishes somewhere between 15th and 22nd, 23rd-ish. So I do think if Scott can get back to playing like that, then this team can absolutely pop off. Sylvie is in the wildest pop-off arc of all time at the moment, and H-Bomb is H-Bomb, doing very, very well as usual. This team is absolutely going to want things like Build Mart. They're going to want Sands of Time. And since it didn't get played last event, it's probably going to get played in this one. So with the right games, which I think we're going to get, this team absolutely is in contention to win the event. So I'm excited, and I'm a little bit scared of this team in certain games. Next up, we have Blue, made up of Puns, Foolish, Tubbo, and Goomy. Genuinely strong team. Really strong team. Not sure why Tubbo's picture is so blurred, but here we are. Puns and Foolish, obviously, really, really strong. Puns, incredibly strong. Foolish coming in. Still finding his feet with MCC a little bit, but definitely a good competitor. Probably on par with Tubbo. Tubbo's probably a little bit higher scoring on average. Goomy also very, very good. In terms of vibes, I know for a fact that Puns, Foolish, and Goomy always play other games together, so I can imagine that their chemistry is going to be really, really good. I do think this team needs someone to guide them. I think Puns is going to have to tell them where to go, what to do. Providing that that leadership is strong, this is a very, very strong team. As long as people don't get distracted and start running around doing silly things. But only time will tell. Next up is Purple, Fruitberries, Filzer, Shovel, and Orion Sound. Good to see them back in. Fruitberries obviously going to be the standout player on this team because Fruit is cracked at everything he does. Hopefully, if there is survival games, he doesn't make a repeat of last time he teamed with the Orion Sound where he just set himself on fire and died at the start. We don't want that. But obviously a very, very strong team. I think, again, there's probably going to be a team looking to steer away from PvP games. As good as Fruit is, I don't think it's a massive strength for the team. But with the right games, as always, we can see this team do very well. And the final team is Purpled, Rambo, Blushy, and Slimesicle. Now, Slimesicle not been in the event for a while. I actually didn't realize that Slimesicle had actually only played in one event before this, joined in MCC 19, and that's it. So it has been a while since he played, and it's only been one event. Blushy as well does seem to be leveling out now as a player that's sort of finishing somewhere between 25th and 35th. So with that being said, Purpled and Rambo are absolutely going to be the stronger players. Purpled is ridiculously cracked. Without a doubt, an S tier in my opinion. I think him and Jojo were inaugurated in the last event for sure, if you didn't already believe it. But going to be a really good team to watch. Do I think that they can win? Not necessarily, but obviously I've been wrong a million times before. I think that this team can do very well, but I do think that Purpled is going to want some of the PvP games and stuff in, which again might not be a super strength for the whole team. With that being said, that is all the teams. So if you didn't know them already, now you do. But what we're going to focus on a little bit today is over in the team builder. So something interesting to note that Scott actually made a video about a month ago now explaining how he makes the teams for season 2. If you haven't seen that video, you can go and check it out already. But the way he's done it has changed. And it used to kind of be Scott would sort of take the average of the players, and if they had a good event or a bad event, previously he would kind of disregard it and he would go off of his own feelings. Now he has a new method that basically takes the last 10 events, takes your average from that, but then the most recent events have more weight. So if I got 2.5k in MCC 25, but I got 2.5k in MCC 19, the one where I got an MCC 25 is going to be worth more than the one from MCC 19 because it was more recent, therefore it's a more accurate representation of my skill. With that being said, Sheeplord has added a new thing here called Scott's method. So now we can see the difference between season 2 average, and granted, it's not massively different, actually. Some of them do have pretty significant differences, like 200-300 coins different from the season 2 average. But I think that Scott's method is the fairest way to do it because that is how Scott literally picks the teams. So with that being said, you can see that on Scott's method averages, Pink is actually going to win the event, which I just said I didn't think could happen, really. Then we got Blue, Purple, Green, Aqua, Cyan, Yellow, Red, Lime, and Orange. Overall differential of 981 coins, but that's only really because Orange is so low. Again, Tapple, one of the stronger players in the event this time around. As you can see here, 2.4. Wait, what is his actual average? 2.1. So he's the 12th strongest player in the event. So it's going to be down to him to essentially really rile this team up and get them ready to go. But if that team wasn't in there, the overall average difference would be about 400 coins, which is wild. So again, the balancing is ludicrous. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams all on 8.1k, just with slightly different ending numbers. So the balancing really, really strong, which is what makes these predictions so difficult. So I'm going to come down here and do is I'm going to prepare a theoretical game, which you can do in this. If you don't use the team builder, it's so fun to get involved with, by the way. I highly recommend it. Always give so much love to Sheeplord for making this and allowing the public to use it, because without this, I couldn't make these videos. So things we love to see. So I'm going to make a little theoretical 8-game order I think could come up, and we'll see what the predictions are saying for that. Okay, so I've gone for an interesting one. Obviously, I'm kind of guessing at the games here because some of them were missing last time and some of them are going to be missing this time. But I've gone for Sky Battle first because I think it's going to be back in, and I think that people are going to know that everyone's been sweating MCC Island, so everyone's going to be much better this time. So I think we're going to see that get played early. Parkour Tag, I can still see being back. I'm not sure if it's going to be the same map or not. We haven't had a new map for a while, so maybe we'll see a new map, or maybe we'll see it benched. I'm unsure. I do think Rocket Spleef Rush will come back. Battlebox probably still in there. I think Build Mart will get picked in the community vote. I'm not sure entirely who drives it without Dream and George being in here, but probably people like Puns are going to want it there. Purple's probably going to want it there. Like, a lot of the people are going to want to get it out of the way 5th, if not earlier. To get to the other side, I think is a pretty safe game between somewhere 3 and 6. Grid Runners game 7 and Sands of Time game 8. I think that because we missed Sands of Time last time, that people are going to want to play it. And I do think it's going to be played late. I think there's going to be a lot of teams who are going to want it a little later. That does mean we are missing things like survival games. I do think survival games could just get benched again. So only time will tell. But let's say theoretically this was the correct game. Then what we're going to see is Pink would win the event. Blue would come second, Lime in third, Yellow in fourth, Purple in 5th, Green in 6th, Aqua 7th, Orange 8th, Cyan 9th, and Red last. So, obviously, this is a completely random situation. This may not happen, of course. It's likely it won't happen in this order. But it is interesting to note that I didn't think the Pink could win. And so far, on average, they win. And with this game order, they win. Or at least they get to dodgeball anyway. And let's just see if we did get to dodgeball and it was Pink versus Blue. Blue would have a slightly bigger chance of winning, it turns out, which I think checks out. So with all that being said, you've seen the teams, you've seen like rough averages, you now understand Scott's method, and if you don't, you can go watch Scott's video. All these numbers are a little bit overwhelming, which is why I don't look at this part very often in the videos. But this is basically the teams, the games, each player, how well they do, etc., etc. A lot going on there. I am also sad to say that I do think we're going to see Ace Race get benched. We've now played the map 4 times. I don't think we need to play the map again, and I think they're not going to have another map ready. They can't go back to the old maps anymore because they've completely revamped how Ace Race works, meaning that we're either going to have to take a break or we're going to have to have a new map. So hopefully a new map, fingers crossed, but likelihood is we probably take a break from Ace Race, sadly. So with that being said, let me get into my predictions. Again, they are just predictions. You're probably going to disagree with them. I would love to see yours in the comments below this video. And in 3, 2, 1. Okay, so again, these are my predictions. They are just predictions. This one actually, I really might make some changes when I've seen the games, because I think this can actually really, really affect it this time around. I do think there are certain teams that really need there to not be as much PvP, so time will tell. But for right now, I have Aqua winning it. I'm basing this off there not being too much PvP. I think with Sands of Time, Build Mart, etc., that Aqua can really pop off. Green in second. I literally just am backing my own team. It's a little bit biased, yes. Take that as you will. I do think we have a shot of coming top 2. Realistically, we might finish top 4. Realistically, we also might complete throw. Who knows? Blue in 3rd, Lime in 4th, Pink in 5th, Yellow in 6th, Purple 7th, Red 8th, Cyan in 9th, and Orange in 10th. That is my general prediction. This is without any games, so time will tell. I may actually make some changes this time. I always say I'm going to make changes, and I don't really. But I think last event, I got 4 or 5 teams exactly right, and then 2 within 2 places, and 1 was way out or something. So I actually did really well last event. So hopefully, fingers crossed, the prediction streak keeps going. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Again, please subscribe if you're new to the channel. I've been Seapeekay. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.